Okay, if you are on .NET Full Framework, then you're going to want to leapfrog all the .NET Core versions and go straight to .NET 6. It is the release that you want to upgrade to. .NET 5 renamed all of the quote core libraries, and it brought everything together from a naming perspective. But .NET 6 was a big stability release and is a long-term support release. And so you're going to have 10 years of bug and security fix support for .NET 6. And then, of course, next month, .NET 7 will be another short-term support release. Whereas after they release .NET 8, then they'll start winding down their support for .NET 7. So that's their strategy for the even numbered releases to have the full 10 years of support. And so that's what you're going to get with .NET 6. The themes for Visual Studio 2022, modern development, personal and team productivity, and scale to projects of any size. This is the flagship IDE for all of the different types of software to build. So you're going to hear, again, you're going to hear VS Code and GitHub with GitHub code spaces, basically a hosted VS Code development environment. That is going to work for a subset of development types. And so don't get confused by the hype there. For what it works well for, it works really well. But if you're doing some of the software that doesn't jive well with VS Code or has some dependencies that are not going to be supported in VS Code, then you're not gonna care about any of those. Specifically, VS Code, GitHub code spaces and VS Code running on it is Linux only. Every one of those computers is Linux. VS Code running in Linux. VS Code on the back end is written in TypeScript, which cross compiles over to JavaScript. And again, for running web applications, web APIs, a whole bunch of message processing, you don't care what OS kernel it's running on, but just know that everything GitHub code spaces is Linux. And so there's tons of software with Windows dependencies. And so that kind of eliminates that possibility. But Visual Studio 2022 and going in the next version that Microsoft comes out with is the flagship. And so if you can get your team access to that, they're going to have the most and broadest capabilities. If you have some of the older .NET Framework software, Microsoft does have the .NET Upgrade Assistant, and it is doing a pretty good job. And so give that a go. Don't go without it. It'll at least give you some intelligence about what you need to upgrade and what you need to focus on, and it'll guide you step by step.